Are you struggling to find ways to make your Showit site more unique and fun to explore? Don't worry, I've got you covered. Hey, I'm Jessie from Inkpot Creative, and we are a brand and web design studio that specializes in Showit website design. We love taking a fun and unique approach to design to create sites that are fun and unique and attract the clients that you actually want to attract. In this video, I'm going to go over 5 different Showit features that we love to use to add a bit of movement and make the sites anything but ordinary. Now, I also want to preface all of this by saying everything that I'm going to go over today is stuff that you can do without code. That's what we love about Showit. There's so many things that you can do without code. Some of this stuff you can do on other platforms, but it might require code. It might require extra tweaking. So all of these are super quick and easy to do just with the basic Showit settings. Now, I will say there are a lot of really cool things that you can do with code if you want to add those extra little bits to your site. But these are all no code, really easy to implement for anyone. Now, the first thing that we love adding to basically every site that we work on is hover effects. Now, I know you're probably like, that doesn't feel too unique. Like you can do hover effects on buttons, blah, blah, blah. Totally true. You can do it on a lot of platforms, but we like to go above just buttons. So of course, we will add hover effects to all of the button backgrounds, the button text, all of the links in the navigation, all those places where you kind of be like, okay, let's add this so that when people hover, they know that there's an action that you can take, that you can click on this, anything like that, right? But we also love to do hover effects on different photos to create kind of a layered effect, add a bit more visual interest, and even show some hidden things depending on what the client wants. So some of our favorite ways to use hover effects is using them on photos, specifically if we're looking at links to portfolios or even service pages, anything like that. So if we have a block with a couple different options that people can click on for galleries that this client has, we'll have a hover effect. So when you hover over the first photo to click into it, it disappears and you see a second photo behind it. You see extra text. You see a button that says, view the gallery, whatever it might be. So it adds that little layer of depth to it, little extra thing that just catches people's eyes and gets them interested in like, what else can I hover over? What else might show up? Now, the other thing that you can do instead of doing another photo behind or even having it disappear completely is do some sort of underlay with either a color, or we love using brand patterns for this. So sometimes we'll have the photo on top completely disappear and it'll be the brand pattern with a little button that says, view service, view gallery, learn more, whatever it might be. You can also make it so that the opacity only goes down maybe 50%. So you have a brand pattern behind it or a color behind it, and you kind of pull that through a little bit, and that's what people see, but they still see the original photos. So there's a whole bunch of things that you can play around when it comes to hover effects, but it goes way beyond just let me change the color of this button when someone scrolls over it. There's so many different things that you can do with it. The second thing that we love to use, which has quickly become one of our favorite things to do because there's so many things you can do with it and it looks so cool, is sticky scrolls. So there's settings on Showit where you can make canvases sticky to the top on scroll. So what that means is when someone gets to that canvas, it gets to the top of this page, it sticks there and everything else kind of continues to go. So we love using this. It creates so much visual interest. It gives you so much flexibility in what you can do. You can highlight specific things because you can have things pull up and then more things come up. So as they come up, kind of all of the focus is on that one element instead of the entire canvas as a whole. So there's a whole bunch of different things that we can use it for. You can use it if you have something that's really long, so you have a lot of information, but you don't want to necessarily have blank spots on the side or have a picture that's like aggressively long to make sure that there's something there. So we can make one canvas stick with the picture and the text kind of scrolls up next to it. So there's a lot of different things that we can do with it. We love using this for timelines too. So if we have a timeline, again, kind of that sense of something's really long, we can have it scroll up. So it's sticky. You still get a picture, you still get a brand mark, whatever it might be, but you're able to still read all the text. Now, this is something that you can do with a whole bunch of different canvases. You can layer different canvases over top each other. So we will do this if we're doing maybe services. We'll layer the services on top of each other. So you're not just scrolling through and seeing block, 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 but the blocks are actually coming up and replacing each other. It really is something that doesn't take too much time to set up. It's pretty quick and easy. You design the canvases just like you would any other canvas. But again, it creates that little bit of like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. That's a little cool. Like, let me see what else there is. So it gives you that visual interest. It gives you that extra bit of movement. We never want things to feel stagnant on a website, right? If they're stagnant, it makes you not want to continue scrolling and continue exploring and continue seeing what else there is. So anyway, we can add these little pieces of movement in without actually distracting from the content that we're showing, right? Because we don't want to distract from the text. We don't want to distract from the images. We don't want to distract from what we actually want people to engage with. But we also want to make sure that it's not presented in a way that makes them just be like, oh, okay, like service is great. Let me just scroll. Like we want them to actually interact with it. So this is a great way to do that without pulling too far away from the actual content that we're trying to present. So another great way to do this and even highlight some important things sometimes is to use the animation options in Showit. So Showit has a whole bunch of different animations that you can pick from: sliding, dropping down, dropping up, fading, anything like that. So you can click on any of the individual elements that are on the canvas and add some sort of animation to them. We love doing it on specific text elements, so maybe headings or subheadings, having them slide in or slide down. Brand marks are a great thing if we have those kind of on the canvas, maybe the opacity is turned down or whatever it might be for the design, but having it slide in, adding that little bit of extra movement, drawing people's eyes in, getting them interested and catching their attention. But these are things that are super quick and easy. It is 2 buttons. You click 2 buttons to set whatever you want. You can have them set at different intervals. So if you have multiple things on a canvas that you want to, slide in, you can slide them in one after each other so that it kind of creates a like wave effect or whatever it is that you're looking for. It's really, really, really quick and easy. It's not super complicated and it's really customizable. So it's not something that every piece of text has to slide in or fade in or whatever it might be. Everything is kind of hidden, and as you scroll, it shows up. You can specifically click individual elements and set different animations for all of those elements. Now, I will say this is super fun, and this is definitely something that can be overused. So just be careful with that. We want to make sure that not every single thing has an animation on it, because then it can feel overwhelming, right? So we want to use it, but use it in the right way. And we always love looking at it as a sense of not having everything come in the exact same way. So if you're having everything come in from the left side across the page, it can feel a little repetitive. It can be like, okay, I know what's coming next. So try switching it up, have things come in from the left and then the right and then, up or down or anything like that. Use the different fades or anything like that to kind of switch it up, but take advantage of this. Find pieces that you want to either call out or little elements that can be fun to kind of just slide in, move, whatever it might be, to create that kind of effect. Now, you can also do longer transitions and slides to actually create almost like a moving marquee type text without having any sort of code. So you can have a bigger piece of text that slowly slides. We love doing this. We have some where they slide in from both sides, whatever it might be, but you can slowly slide it in. So it gives the effect of that kind of marquee where you have the repeating text, but you're not actually having any code on the site. It's literally just a button. You can just set the slide transition to be like, 30 seconds. So it's going to slowly do it. So people get that effect, they get that movement, but it's not something super complicated on your end. Do you use any of these on your Showit website currently? Let us know in the comments below. The fourth thing that we love to use is photo burst as galleries. So one of the things I love about Showit is you can have individual galleries. You can place them anywhere on the page. You can make them any size. You can make them any style. So what we love to do is do one of 2 things. Either have a photo burst of you for something for like your about page or anything like that, or use photos that you've taken to create a photo burst effect. So if you have brand photos that you've taken, maybe there's some where you almost have an action shot or something where you're doing it. Maybe you're walking across the street and you have 3 or 4 photos, or you're dancing and you have 3 or 4 photos. It doesn't actually have to be a GIF. So we can put GIFs on there. Those are great and we love using them. But this is actually individual photos that we can put in a gallery. So if you have any of those where you're kind of doing something, you're in motion and you have a couple of photos, put those all in a gallery, and then we can make the auto transition time super short. So we can make it maybe half a second. So it's going to flip through all of them pretty quick. Again, we can adjust this depending on how fast or slow you want it to go through, but it's going to go through them and kind of give that photo burst animation effect with just photos. The other side of it is if you have any photos of your clients. So maybe you were doing an engagement session and they're popping a bottle of champagne and you have a photo of them about to pop it, a photo of them popping it, and then a photo of them, spraying the champagne or kissing after or whatever it might be. You can put those in a gallery as a photo burst and it kind of creates that whole picture. So it adds a bit more of that movement. It shows off more of your work. It kind of draws people in and they're like, oh, that's really cool. Like it's constantly going. Again, it's not something that's super difficult. It's a gallery. You're using galleries probably on multiple different pages on your site. They're not super complicated to set up, but it creates something that's a little unique and something that's not always expected. And that's what we want to do. We want to create these unexpected moments that are going to keep people engaged. So this is a super, super easy way to do it. You don't have to worry about putting anything into a program and creating a GIF off of these to actually get it to repeat. Literally just put it in a gallery and turn that auto transition time down. So it just flips through really quick. And there you have it. You don't have to worry about creating anything new. You just use the photos. And then if you ever want to replace them, it's super easy to replace. You're not having to go back in a different program, create something, export it, upload it, switch it out. Really, really easy. The fifth and final thing that we love to use on Showit is the canvas views. So this is one of our favorite things. And one of the things that I love about Showit compared to some other platforms is that you can have these canvas views super, super easily, and they're really customizable. So one of the places that is great for these is on things like fun facts on your about page, or even sometimes services, going through different services. This is a great thing if you don't want your site to be super overwhelming or feel like there's a lot of text all at once, all up front. If you want to add different photos to different pieces of text, having these canvas views, having people click through them, or you can also auto transition through them if you want that as well. But having this where it's just a single piece, they can click and then you get the next one. It kind of limits that wall of text that people might be looking at, or like, okay, I just feel like this is just a ton of text and like, I don't know if anyone's going to want to read this or if they're going to go down further. It gives people that kind of, choose your own adventure. You can see what you want to see. You can click through if you want to click through, or you can see it kind of auto transition as it goes. So again, this is great for like fun facts if you don't want to have all of them listed out. This is great for different services, or if your service has a lot of information that you want to include, but you don't want it to be really overwhelming. You can have these little arrows to click through so people can see a chunk. They can click to the next one and see another one instead of, again, seeing that kind of wall of text. This is also the perfect way to show multiple testimonials on a single canvas. So we love using this for testimonials, whether, again, it auto transitions or if you have buttons down at the bottom where people can click through them. But this is a great way to do that so we can show multiple testimonials. You can even add photos for the specific clients that testimonial is about, whatever it might be. But it gives you that flexibility. And these canvas views are super, super, super easy to set up. You literally just click a button, add canvas view, and there you go. You can add whatever elements you want inside of it. And I also love that you have flexibility of everything else that you can put inside of the canvas, right? So Squarespace has their testimonial canvases, and you can do this. You can put a testimonial in there and it can scroll through it, but you can't exactly add anything else to the canvas. With Showit, you can add these canvas views and you can have literally anything else on the canvas that you want. You can design it anyway. You can place it anyway. You can have different icons for the arrows. You can have backgrounds, whatever it is that you want, you can do it. So this is one of our favorite features. We love canvas views. Again, making things more digestible, making it so that there's not so much information that it's overwhelming, but then also ensuring that all of the information that you want on your website is actually there, which at the end of the day, that's exactly what we want. There truly are so many unique and fun things that you can do on your Showit website. And it's one of the reasons why Showit is hands down our favorite website platform to design on. It's super customizable and it's really, really easy to actually do that customization. You don't need to know a bunch of things. You don't need to know a bunch of code. You don't need to worry about all of these different intricacies. It's very drag and drop, click settings, very, very easy. And if you're still not sure if Showit's the right platform for you, we have you covered. We have an entire website platform quiz that you can go through that'll let you know which platform is best for you. So click the link in the description below to take that. And as always, if you found this helpful, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next one.